Out for the second period. Floodlights now at this Allianz Riviera Arena. Old friendships being reunited. There's Danny Drinkwater, who celebrated the title with Leicester City in 2016 before moving to Chelsea. He's on for the second half. Maurizio Sarri, Mickey, I think will have quite enjoyed delivering his first meaningful half-time team talk, because there wasn't too much to complain about, was there?
And learning English, as we heard, as the first half was going on. So yeah, very impressed. He said to his players that he wants them to play happy. For 45 minutes, it looked as if they had a smile on their face. They were enjoying the football. And I'm certain that we're going to get this in the second 45 minutes, even though they have made changes.
Yeah, Lautaro Martinez, the Argentinian frontman, is coming on as referee Nicolas Rainville gets the second half underway. Chelsea in a change strip of all yellow. The Nerazzurri, of course, in blue and black stripes. They've been, if not beaten black and blue, they've certainly been fought and outthought in the first half. They need to improve. There's an early chance perhaps for them to do that. There's Asamoah, D'Ambrosio, and now Politano. An early corner.
To start from Politano, first and foremost, in this second half. He looks as if he's drifted across to that right-hand side to use that left foot of his.
Only their second corner, it's in towards the near post. And still might be a chance here for the player who's just come on, Martinez, and then it's fired in by Politano, and Willy Caballero, who's also on as a Chelsea substitute in the second half, saved Politano's shot.
Yeah, good strike, first shot on target. First little test for Caballero.
Should have held it very low. Caballero there, I think. Anyway, played in the World Cup, of course, for Argentina. Here's the corner. It's a positive start to the second half by Inter. Politano finding Asamoah. Eventually it's knocked away by David Luiz. Here's Jorginho, new signing for Chelsea. And Danny Drinkwater's on the ball now for the first time. This is Pedro, the goal scorer. Alonso took his eye off the ball, got rather lucky there, but now finds himself rather boxed in. Hudson-Odoi unable to return the ball to Marcos Alonso.
Good strength there.
Giveaway. They were sloppy at times on the ball. Inter have got away with it this time. The goal itself came due to careless piece of play in midfield. Politano has knocked it far too long for Antonio Candreva. He's already tested Caballero. It's Inter's only shot on target of the game, that one that Caballero rather scrambled round the post. This time it's Chelsea's turn to give it away. And they've given it away to Mauro Icardi, who again is unselfish. And it was a good decision because the ball has been rattled into the net by Roberto Gagliardini. And Inter Milan are level. Chelsea losing the ball in midfield. On a couple of occasions in the first half, Icardi was unselfish and it didn't pay off. And this time it did. Gagliardini fires in. Caballero's only been on for 4 minutes. He's already beaten. It's Chelsea 1, Inter Milan 1.
And it comes from a mistake from one of the new boys who came on in the second half, Bakayoko. Just trying to play a simple 5-yard pass back to a midfield player, gives the ball away. Great play from McCarty. Again, unselfish, just plays the ball into Gagliardini. Keeps his head down. Second shot on target. Caballero saved the first one, which he should have done. This one, he just tries to drive across to his left-hand side. Gets his body position completely wrong, but take nothing away from the strike. There was a lot of pace on it. And all of that play from Chelsea in the first half, all that possession, shots on target. He basically won every stat in front of the board. But the most important one now is 1-1.
Yeah. Trying to make it 2-1 though here with Marcos Alonso. Cross is cleared. Gagliardini didn't manage a goal in the whole of last season in the league, but he's got one in the International Champions Cup, and it means, of course, that we do have the prospect of penalty kicks. Just to remind you, there's no extra time at the end if it's level, but we'll go straight to a shootout. The Manchester United AC Milan shootout actually lasted longer than a period of extra time, would you believe? Finished 9-8 with, I think it was 9 missed. Extraordinary climax to that match the other night. Kept the fans up much longer than they had expected. Well, Maurizio Sarri will be annoyed with this, won't he? Because they were absolutely on top. I'm sure he's given them encouraging words at half-time, but they've switched off and allowed Inter back into it.
You normally get this scenario where you're so much on top in a game that you don't really want half-time to come. You want the players to stay out and show the confidence and the sharpness that they have done for 45 minutes, but they've went in for half-time. They've had their drinks, a little bit of a team talk from Sarri. And as they've come out in the second half, it's been a little bit scrappy. The players that have come onto the field, Bakayoko, I mentioned that mistake with his first touch of the ball, and they got punished for it.
Oh, that's a poor touch as well by Bakayoko. He really didn't settle into English football at all, did he? Arriving as he did at the beginning of the last season, having won the title with Monaco, but signs are already here that the confidence has not returned.
Players can come with high expectations, and we saw the season that he had with Monaco. He looked so adept, so comfortable and confident in the position he was playing in. And then let's not forget, you come to the Premier League, which, you know, ups the ante 15-20% every single game, and maybe it was a little bit too quick for him. And from the signs we've seen so far since he's taken to the field, just very scrappy, giving the ball away.
And that's an injury picked up by Danilo Ambrosio, or rather Skriniar, I should say, who didn't appear to suffer any contact, so that'll be a slight worry for Inter.
There was a stamp on his foot, John, from Morata. It was an accident, but I think he's okay.
Here's the goal scorer, Gagliardini. Tackle was by Bakayoko. Here's D'Ambrosio, and now Asamoah. Here's Danny Drinkwater for Chelsea, who've got it all to do again, having dominated the first half. This is Ampadu, the 17-year-old centre-half, finding Morata, who's claiming he was held, and the referee concurs.
I just wonder where that guile is going to come from these three midfield players that Chelsea have on the field now, with Jorginho, Drinkwater and Bakayoko. All very good defensive midfield players who can break up play and bring in the quality in front of them, but when you're taking people like Fabregas off and Barkley, it's always going to be difficult to get that fluidity through the team.
Another great clearance by Caballero, had his moments during the World Cup, good and bad.
Good. Come on, Barca, come on.
Here's D'Ambrosio. Inter looking the more confident team, certainly in this second period, now nearly 9 minutes old. They've got the goal they wanted, and they see if they might get another. Here's Dalbert. That's beautiful cutback, and Icardi again, every time he gets the ball, he seems keen to lay it off to someone else, which is surprising for a player who scored 29 goals last season. But to be fair to him, it was the right decision, allowing Gagliardini to equalise. Here's Politano. And they're opening up Chelsea here. It's Dalbert again. Well, he's never scored for Inter, but he had to go there, and Azpilicueta was in the way.
They're starting to find gaps into Milan now. And I think what they're trying to do is capitalise on this system that Chelsea are playing. Three very tight, narrow midfield players now. The players I just mentioned. So it's easier for the full-backs to break forward and find that space and create the opportunities for Inter Milan, because they're getting so much space now to pick their head up. They're picking out the passes from Icardi, who's driving into that 18-yard box. Gilardini now getting himself into better areas. I think they've changed the midfield around as well. Asamoah looks as if he's playing a lot more narrow, and Politano out on this right-hand side. So they certainly changed the players around. Similar system, maybe just to see what they're like in those positions, see how comfortable they feel.
Well, credit to Luciano Spalletti, they've turned the game around as well. Chelsea far from comfortable, which they certainly were walking down the tunnel not 15 minutes ago.
Maurizio Sarri, I think, has a few concerns now. He's tried to change it up. He obviously wants to see a lot more than what he saw in the first 45 minutes, but as of yet, well, that passing that we did see hasn't really come to the fore in this second half. It's slow, it's languid. Need to see a bit more movement from Chelsea.
Hudson-Odoi might pep it up here. It's another good move in field by the 17-year-old. But nowhere to go. Back it comes to David Luiz. Pedro. Did that take a touch before it crossed the line? It did, I think. Dalbert sliding in. Not sure who that came off last, Azpilicueta or Dalbert. According to the officials, it's a Brazilian defender who's conceded a corner. And Danovic waits. Easy claim for him. In his 7th season with Inter Milan after joining them from Udinese. 4th most capped player in Slovenian history, the Inter goalkeeper. Skriniar. Away to Alonso. Now Pedro. It's not a very good ball by the Spaniard. Chelsea have been sloppy in this opening period of the second half, to say the least. Here's Jorginho, though. And now Pedro trying to find Morata. And Handanovic got there just ahead of the Spaniard.
Better understanding from Pedro. Morata just needed a better pass. Always the hardest pass, the through ball. Plays it in between the full-back and the centre-half, but just gets a little bit too much on it for Morata to break into that 6-yard box. But the movement's starting to improve now. It's as if they come out in the second half and they thought it was maybe too easy for them, but they've had a real shock.
Hudson-Odoi. Bakayoko. Hudson-Odoi again showing some lovely skill. The youngsters in the crowd enjoyed that. Here's Ampadu, a youngster himself. Chelsea beginning to put things together here. Ampadu. Pedro's on the move. And he's got past Skriniar very easily there. It's good play by Pedro. A bit unlucky with the way the ball rolled, and Skriniar has atoned.
Pedro taking on Skriniar, who looks like a nightmare waiting to happen every time the ball goes anywhere near him. You know, whether he's going to bring a player down. Looks very sloppy, but to his credit, he got himself turned round and he got himself into a good position to win the ball back, played it out nice and neatly from the back. The passing's not been as crisp. Now, Inter Milan have a lot more possession than what they did have in the first half, but still, you know, it's what you do with it. You can keep the ball for 30 or 40 passes, but you've got to try and break the lines.
Here's Politano. A couple of shots wide in the first half. This is Dalbert, who loves to get forward. He's left it though for Candreva. Looks too long.
One of the players that we mentioned in that midfield for Inter Milan, Candreva, who worked out on that right-hand side in the first half, has now drifted over to the left-hand side. So trying to use that stronger right foot of his, chops back onto his right foot, gets a little bit of pace on this cross, but it's just a little bit too far. He's got to try and work on his quality. I think he's been in some really good positions. He has to get better.
Bit of a slice by Caballero. Doesn't fall for Hudson-Odoi. Instead, it's Inter who have it. That's a lovely ball out towards Politano. Good tackle, though, by Alonso, who's back on the ball here, if he can remember to bring it with him. Another strong challenge, though. No quarter being taken or given here. This is a really good chance for Inter. And it was a clever little swivelling run by Martinez. Ampadu was there and just urging his defenders to concentrate more. Rather like Hudson-Odoi in the first half, not afraid to make himself heard, the 17-year-old, when needed. Some might portray it as arrogance, but I think you made the point in the first half that they're confident enough to you know, have a go when things need to be said.
If you're good enough to play, you're in that starting 11, then you've got your divine right, if the pass isn't there for you, to have a go at your teammates who are playing with you. You've merited your opportunity.
Oh, he's given it away there, though. And here's Asamoah with the back heel. Might come out to Gagliardini again. Oof. Well, a couple of times this evening, Willy Caballero's handling has not looked particularly confident. That was another. No harm done. But could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, he's looked very shaky, Caballero. I'm right in saying, I think in the World Cup we did lose his place a couple of games, and he's getting back into the team today and looks very shaky as the ball's coming into his hands. And I wonder what he's thinking himself about his future. You know, they just brought in Robert Green. We saw Bulker in the first 45 minutes. Maybe he's thinking he's playing for his future, or some here, or maybe even somewhere else.
Here's Bakayoko for Chelsea, finding Pedro. This is Drinkwater. Caballero made his Argentina debut at the age of 36 and ended up at a World Cup. But, he looks shaky tonight, that's for sure. Here's Morata. Foul on him, free kick Chelsea. He doesn't agree.
That's what we call a soft foul. I think Morata knows that the challenge is coming. There's a bit of a hand on the shoulder. He's gone to ground.
I would agree.
This is another opportunity. We saw the first half with Alonso with that left foot, where it looks like David Luiz is standing over this one. We talked about that quality that he has from these free kick situations. Well, this isn't a perfect position for him. He can choose whichever angle he likes. Just needs to convert that quality that we know he has got and test the goalkeeper.
And we've seen him score from this sort of range before. David Luiz. This one not quite as effective. It'll win a corner. Chelsea are about to bring on a quintet of substitutes. They may want to take the corner first with what they've got before they start thinking about that. Danny Drinkwater's gone across. Luiz with the effort, which I don't think, even if the wall hadn't deflected, it would have troubled Handanovic. Here's Pedro. Too long. Well, that's a rather disappointing conclusion to that Chelsea corner, but it will allow the substitutes to come on. Among them, World Cup stars Andreas Christensen and Victor Moses. So there is Emerson, the recent signing from Roma last season. Alonso is the first to make his way across off the field. Emerson will be his replacement at left back. So there is Antonio Rudiger. Morata is another whose night is over in terms of playing time. Ditto David Luiz. And Ethan Ampadu. He's done pretty well, hasn't he, the young man, Mickey, tonight?
Certainly has. Certainly has, young man. He's had that experience of first-team football. Looks very comfortable on the ball. Young Welsh international. He's going to be a real hit in a Chelsea shirt over many, many years.
Pedro can start thinking about tucking into his birthday cake, having given Chelsea the lead on 8 minutes, but since seen it eradicated. So that's almost an entire change of team from the one which started for Maurizio Sarri, determined to have a good look at everybody who's available to him, a couple of them back from the World Cup. Still just the one sub from Internazionale, with Martinez replacing Immers. Here's Christensen, played for Denmark in Russia. They were knocked out in the round of 16 by Croatia on penalties, agonisingly for him. He could get penalties tonight, because it will be the outcome if it stays 1-1.
It's good for the players that they've got a lot of minutes under their belt, which is very important. Taking this very, very seriously. Want to try and finish this game with a win if they possibly can. Chelsea have freshened it up in a lot of positions now, as we've seen in this tournament. The players are really thriving on playing in this competition. They all want to be a part of it. The managers want to see what they've got at their disposal. So they've freshened it up. Let's see what they can bring to the table.
Caballero, another mistake. Allows Inter the chance to try and get forward with one of their subs, Yann Karamo, who's just come on, the 20-year-old Frenchman who's just started a second season on loan from Caen. Here he is on the ball again with that distinctive ponytail tied behind his back. Should mention Tammy Abraham is also on for Chelsea. He was in that flurry that came on. This is a chance for Inter. It was a rather poor first touch, and in the end the shot was blocked by Antonio Rudiger. Ranocchia is also on for Inter Milan. He's a central defender.
Great tackle. Super tackle by Rudiger. And he had to put his body on the line. Stayed strong. Kept himself as big as he possibly could. It's an excellent charge.
Majroric has also come on, an 18-year-old Slovenian for Inter Milan, as Luciano Spalletti begins to ring the changes. They're up to 4 substitutes now. Martinez, Ranocchia, Roric and Karamo are on for them. Well, we're beyond the 3/4 point in the match. Remember that only victories inside 90 minutes will give you 3 points. You'll only get 2 if you win on a penalty shootout. Arsenal were big winners earlier today with a 5-1 win over Paris Saint-Germain under new boss Unai Emery. Here's Tammy Abraham for Chelsea. Excellent snapshot on the turn, well saved by Handanovic. Well, Tammy Abraham had a prolific season, 2 seasons ago with Bristol City, less so with Swansea in the last campaign, but he looked sharp there.
What a great first touch. Uses his strength, great ability. Only the last line up front. You've got to try and create that opportunity, that little half a yard of space for yourself. The ball gets driven into him, chops it to the side, onto his stronger right foot. Great strike, and a very good save.
Oh, an England international as well, of course. Played in the goalless draws against Germany and Brazil last autumn. Good first little passage of play from him. Monsieur Renville has refereed it sensibly and is calling a halt to proceedings in the warm and sultry night of Nice to enable the players to get some liquid on board. Willy Caballero very sensibly has stuck one behind the goalpost, so he doesn't need to walk across to the side and pick up a bottle there. Means we can all pause and take a little breath here with 20 minutes to go. Clock will continue running. They normally add on about 3 minutes for these sort of breaks. Let's have a look at Inter's goal again. Icardi did well. Caballero, was he in the wrong position perhaps? I mean, he hasn't had a great game and clipped off his flailing leg, didn't it, from Gagliardini? He'd gone across quite a long way to his left.
It surprises me that, you know, we're talking about such an experienced man in that goal now for Chelsea, and he's getting his positioning wrong. The balls came to him 2 or 3 times. He looks very, very shaky. A couple of occasions he could have saved it and kept hold of it with his hands. He's tried to play it out from the back on 2 occasions. He's got that completely wrong. He's put the back 4 under a lot of pressure, and eventually this is where the goals come from. Gagliardini with a super strike, take nothing away from him, getting them back level to 1-1. I think you have to question the goalkeeper.
Yeah. Antonio Rudiger was having a word with him just a moment ago. Rudiger, one of the flurry of substitutions that have been made in this second half. The hugely disappointed German squad who've trooped back from Russia rather earlier than they'd hoped. There's Jorginho. And now Drinkwater. This is Victor Moses. He's another who's going to have to adjust his position, isn't he, in this new 4 at the back with Sarri. Obviously he played on the right-hand side as part of a 4. So I suppose, is he a full-back or is he a wide midfield player?
That's a big question over somebody like Moses, because you know he's got that great ability driving forward, and in a wing-back position that can help you out, because that is your job first and foremost, is to try and get forward into that final third and create opportunities. But if he's not going to be playing as a right back, which you wouldn't expect him to, because, you know, first and foremost, he's not a defender. He likes to get forward, so he's got to try and take up that position as a wide right, if you like, or one of the 3 in midfield, and use his pace. So I think it might be a little bit more difficult for him to get into the team this season.
Yeah, there'll be a few thinking perhaps about what their futures might be. That was nicely done by Lautaro Martinez, who's been lively since he came on at half-time, although the ball has just gone out of play. Chelsea finished 5th in the Premier League last season, only the 2nd time out of the top 3 in the last 6 seasons, although of course they did win the FA Cup. Penalty by a man who's still on his break after an excellent World Cup, Eden Hazard, although it still remains to be seen whether Real Madrid get their wish as far as that's concerned.
They normally do.
Well, he's got quite an act to follow if he does go there, doesn't he? It's almost possible to imagine Real Madrid without Ronaldo.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he had an outstanding World Cup, Eden Hazard. You know, he really showed the world what he's all about. We see on a regular basis great ability when he picks up that ball, the threat that he brings to a side. You know, he can win games single-handedly, and that's the type of player that he's going to have to be if, and it is if at the moment, if he does sign for Real Madrid, because the guy that he's replacing 40, 45 goals a season for what, the last 8 or 9.
Incredible.
It's going to take some doing.
Pace has slowed a little bit here in this International Champions Cup debut for these two clubs for 2018. Here's Danny Drinkwater. Wasn't that far away. Handanovic knew there was plenty of pace on that, but was fortunate, or rather relieved, to see it go wide.
We've seen this from Danny Drinkwater on a few occasions. When he gets a sight of that goal, 25, 30 yards out, you know, he's got the quality, great strike. Handanovic wasn't too sure if it was just going to creep in that near post until he went wide, but a really good opportunity.
Yeah, he's only ever once scored for Chelsea. That was in a 5-0 thrashing of Stoke in December.
And that was a big long.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think as well,
They,
John.
they do tend to be, don't they, with him? When he hits them well. Here's Jorginho, who along with Rob Green is the only player coming into Chelsea so far this summer. Here's Hudson-Odoi. Emerson, the left fullback, has lost it now, and it's with Caramo. It's a useful looking ball in towards Lautaro Martinez, but it was good cover in the end by Azpilicueta, but a corner.
Good defending. Azpilicueta reads the situation well. Great through ball. Martinez trying to get on the end of it. It's just drifting away from the pace when he makes that run, that 1v1 situation. And Azpilicueta, probably one of the best 1v1 defenders in the Premier League. He's just showed why. Great quality.
Didn't get a single minute for Spain in the World Cup. Here's the corner. Caballero shouts keeper and punches. And it drops on the edge of the box. But not quite right for Maj Joric, the teenage Slovenian, who saw his shot blocked. It's loose, and Chelsea might profit here. Here's Hudson-Odoi, looking to attack his man. Lovely skill by him. Just sets it up to the far post towards Victor Moses. And the defensive header was away by Dalbert.
Great ability again. Hudson-Odoi, you know, he's so confident. Left foot, right foot. He's a defender's nightmare. You never know which way he's going to go. This one, great little step over. Got to be careful with those challenges in the 18-yard box. There's a lovely little dink ball to the back stick. I think we might see a little bit more than that young man this season.
Yes,
absolutely fantastic player.
I hope so. He's been brilliant whenever I've seen him. It was lovely the way he just hung it up there. Chelsea have a 6th corner. Here he is again, Hudson-Odoi, and again he's going to the byline. This time he's only managed to find Caramo, who clears. But, interesting that, having seen him create that chance, they took the corner short to try and give him another.
Why not? If you're full of confidence, get him on the ball as much as you possibly can.
There's D'Ambrosio. A bit of covering by Tammy Abraham there, all the way back from centre forward. That won't be noted by the manager, won't it? That sort of hunger at this stage.
Absolutely, absolutely. You start defending from the front. If Tammy Abrahams is willing to work back to help out his full back, if he's got the opportunity to track back and win the ball back the way he did.
He's only actually made 2 appearances for Chelsea back in 2016. Had an enormously successful spell at Bristol City. Couldn't stop scoring in the Championship. Less so, of course, last season with Swansea, who were relegated.
Yeah, but they seem to do that with a lot of their players, John, don't they? They bring a lot of young guys into the team. You know, we've seen the success they've had in the Youth Cup over the years. I think it's 4 out of the last 5, and people like Tammy Abrahams has gone out and got that experience that you need over the last few seasons. Maybe this is his time.
Yeah, he only got 1 goal in his last 14 appearances for Swansea. Couldn't help them survive. But Well, he's shown at both ends good glimpses tonight. A shot on the turn which was saved, and then very selfless run back to help out his defenders. Inter have a free kick, which Politano at the moment is standing over. Seems to be too much enthusiasm to get forward by the Italians at the moment to maybe get on the end of this. A few of them now have arrived. Here's Caramo, behind by Cesar Azpilicueta. We were talking about him earlier, Mickey. I mean, he's the sort of player I think who can turn back from a centre-half into a full-back without any problem at all.
I think he'd probably be their #1 right back. Whether they bring anybody else in this transfer window is yet to be seen. But I said 1v1 situations as a defender, I don't think there's any better.
Here's the corner, flicked away again by Abraham, defending well. Caramo not shooting well though, off the side of his boot and long way wide.
Well, Caramo showed us some good ability since he's came onto the field. Looks very adept on that right-hand side. He's got good ability, good pace, some nice skills. I think he's got himself into a few positions where he's had shooting opportunities and hasn't really got that potent threat as of yet from what we've seen.
Here's Bakayoko. Now drink water. 10 minutes to go. Otherwise, if they don't score, it'll be a penalty shootout at the Allianz Riviera. Here's Abraham. Ran into trouble, but I think it was overzealous, the challenge. It'll be a free kick to Chelsea. Foul was by Majoric. Combative central midfield player, but too much so on that occasion. This is Rudiger. Azpilicueta. Jorginho. Now then, Hudson-Odoi with another chance to stretch his legs, perhaps. Not enjoyed facing him. Into defence. Here's Jorginho! It was almost a glorious goal on debut, but it was palmed away by Handanovic. Lovely strike by the new signing, and a good save by the keeper too.
Well, super play again from Hudson-Odoi. Drifted back across to this left-hand side. Great ability, just a little simple pass inside. Jorginho, one touch out of his feet. He knows exactly what he wants to do. He's trying to play it into the top left-hand corner. Gets everything right. Super save.
Rudiger with the header. One of the cannons into Christensen, who can't control the follow-up. He's not renowned as a goal scorer. Jorginho, only 6 in 160 appearances for Napoli, but he had the ability there to produce a very worthwhile effort. And he might have won it for Chelsea, as it is. We have 8 minutes to go. And another penalty shootout looming in the International Champions Cup. Substitutions to be made by Inter and indeed by Chelsea. 32 is Lucas Piazon, a Brazilian midfield player, coming on for Inter. Is Zappa, I think, is the player who's come on. Salcedo is also going to come on. Vladan Dekic, I should say, is coming on along with Eddie Salcedo. Now, Salcedo's an interesting one. He's on loan from Genoa, just 16 years old. But he made his Serie A debut at the age of 15 for Genoa against Sassuolo. And the rumour is that Inter may be willing to pay up to 15 million euros for him. He's wearing number 74, if you want to look out for him. He's one of the big hopes of Italian football, though his parents are Colombian. Here he is. It's a nice first touch. Cross towards Karamo. And again, so good this time, trying to cushion his header, I think, in towards the penalty spot area, where Asamoah was waiting but didn't reach him. Do you get the feeling that either of these sides have what it takes to win this game and spare us a penalty shootout, or I suppose delight us with a penalty shootout, depending on which way you look at it?
Both sides will go for it. There's no doubt about it. They want to try and get that second and all-important winning goal if they possibly can. Well, both sides have had opportunities in this second half. Lots of changes, fresher legs on the field.
Strong run by Victor Moses. That's nicely worked. And Chelsea have a chance here. The cross was flashed in by Emerson, and it didn't quite reach Tammy Abraham, who was beaten to the punch by a backpedaling defender.
What an opportunity. Great ball in from Emerson down that left-hand side. And it was as if Tammy Abraham actually got into the area too quickly. He was waiting for the cross to come.
Yeah.
And he eventually had to do a pirouette,
Yeah,
like thing, you know, as if he turned his body around to try and steer it into the goal.
Lucas Piazza, one of the substitutes, was involved in that move. He's had recent loans at Fulham and Reading. Another who hasn't really ever broken into the genuine reckoning at Chelsea, so this may be an opportunity. This is Antonio Rudiger, and now Christensen. It's not a terribly good ball, and it's nicked away by Salcedo, who's on his bike again. 16 years of age, remember, it's a very good run. He almost got taken down by his own momentum rather than anything else there, but rather like Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's of a similar age, he looks a pacey and confident customer, doesn't he? And no wonder he's making so many waves in Italian football at the moment.
Very unfortunate not to pick up a foul just outside of the 18-yard box. I think it was Azpilicueta who brought him down. Looks full of confidence. Can't even remember what I was doing when I was 16 years old, John. So, full credit to the young man. You can see where all the hype was coming from. He's got all of the ability in the world. Came to nothing in the end. Eventually, Chelsea break up the other end. We now have a foul.
I was buying records by the Sex Pistols when I was 16.
Ah, well, there you go.
My football career was already behind me. Never made the grade. This is the next best thing.
Absolutely.
Bakayoko brought down there by D'Ambrosio. This was the run by the young Salcedo. He's been eye-catching since he came on.
It was just a little shove. I think it was Danny Drinkwater who just made contact with the side of his body. But you can see when Salcedo picks the ball up, he just wants to drive at defenders. He's got that confidence to take players on. He's kind of out there at the moment, 16 years of age. Won't even know what fear is. Just wants to go out and enjoy his football. Excellent running. And he caused defenders a huge amount of problems. And let's say for the next 20 years, because that's how long he's going to be around.
Yeah. Andreas Christensen's picked up an injury for Chelsea, which nobody wants to see with the new season just around the corner. It's as if the Danish international is going to be okay. He's up on his feet at least. Only a couple of minutes past stoppage time to try and sort out a winner in regulation time. Doesn't look very happy, does he, Christensen? He's labouring, rather favouring his left ankle. Looks like to be the problem area for him. Just come back from the World Cup, of course. Are you surprised to see some of these Chelsea players back in action so soon? I mean, the final was only 13 days ago.
I am, if I'm totally honest with you. I'm really surprised. It's obviously, you know, the players now, once they've had a break of a couple of weeks, they're ready to go again. You know, they're so fit, powerful and strong now. they probably get itchy feet. They have a holiday, they'll probably get away for a week. But when they see, and this is something that I mentioned to you before, you know, about playing in a competition like this before the season starts, most players want to be a part of it. They want to get back involved in the dressing room, they want to get back involved in the pre-season. And these games now, with having a competition like this, they all want a part of it, and Christiansen's obviously one of those players, and full credit to him for that. But sometimes maybe another week rest would do you no harm. But they all want to be back, they all want to be playing, and they want to get involved as quick as they can.
It's the first thing that occurs to you, though, isn't it, when he goes down? You think, you know, he's been through a World Cup. I know he obviously didn't go all the way like some of his teammates, but
have you given
he's
your body
played
enough
at that
rest?
level? For, you know, the season is finished for him in mid-July, early July. It's not a huge break, is it? Anyway, he's on the ball now and he's fine. That's the main thing.
Whereas if I got 5 weeks, John, I wanted 7. It's changed now.
I hear you're still fighting fit and playing tomorrow. Is that true?
I try my best, yeah. I'm playing a charity game. I am indeed, yeah. I always like playing once in a while.
And Great North Run again for you this season as well.
For my sins, yes.
Yeah. That's a foul by Jorginho. We're into a couple of minutes to be added on at the end. It looks like penalties at the moment. Well, we had penalties in the game that Mickey and I watched the other night between Benfica and Dortmund, when Benfica were 2-0 down, looked out of it and ended up winning the game on penalties. So maybe Inter will feel that they can complete a comeback here, having conceded so early. This is Caramo. They not need penalties. Caballero, good save from the shot by Martinez.
Well, very well worked, Martinez. He's on the move. Nice little ball into the area. Most players would probably try and take a touch in that situation, but he's got the instinct to just have a shot on goal. What a wonderful strike, and I have to say a superb save from Caballero too.
Here's the corner. This time Martinez not able to connect. It was well defended, but that was a very, very good chance. And as you say, Caballero hasn't necessarily covered himself with glory all evening, but made a really good save there. Excellent effort by Lautaro Martinez. Skriniar. Just a reminder, no extra time. We will go straight to a penalty shootout, and there'll be 2 points for the winners and 1 point for the losers at the conclusion of that. Here's Drinkwater. Have Chelsea got one more iron in the fire? Maybe not. Well, Martinez has been an extremely lively substitute. He's on the move again, and Christensen has kept up with him, but again that injury has flared up. He's only got a few seconds to keep moving, but that doesn't look great. He's almost unable to move at the moment. You can see him there just to the right of your picture, hobbling in the penalty area.
I just wonder, this is what makes you wonder whether players come back too early.
Well, that is full time, and it's one apiece, so we have a penalty shootout to entertain us with. Whether Andreas Christensen will want to be involved in that or not, I don't know, because he's down injured at the moment. The two goalkeepers, of course, will take centre stage now. Pedro on his 31st birthday put Chelsea ahead after only 8 minutes, but it only took 3 minutes of the second half for Inter to